Welcome to Rogers Center. It's a beautiful day, the final day of June 2012, and it's been a good month for Jose Bautista Blue Jays. Looking at a losing month, they've gone 12 and 14 this month. The Angels, they've split the first 2 games with the Blue Jays here in this ballpark. Mike Trout is on a career-high 11-game hit streak. He's hit 400 during that time with 4 doubles, a pair of home runs, and he's driven in 6. Meiser is Sturis, the switcher, gets to start at second base this afternoon. Albert Pujols is the DH for the 4th time this season. Kendrys Morales, Mark Trumbo, Alberto Callaspo, middle of the order. Peter Borges back in center field this afternoon. Andrew Romine makes his first start of the season at shortstop. And Bobby Wilson is back behind the plate again this afternoon.
Henderson Alvarez takes the mound for his 16th start of the season. We didn't think we would be saying that 5 days ago when he walked off the mound in Boston in that 6th inning, complaining of the elbow soreness. Just some mild inflammation. I was just watching him warm up, and he was throwing very hard. Something that we saw in that start in Boston. He touched 96, 97 miles an hour in the 1st inning.
So the Blue Jays got some good news with one of their starting pitchers, and Alvarez dodged a bullet. He is back and ready to go. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, and it's a strike. 96 miles an hour. That's a good sign, and Alvarez feels all right, at least to start this ball game.
You know, he looks free. He looks loose. He doesn't look like he has any problems with that elbow here.
Bouncing ball. Big hop for the shortstop. Trout's retired.
Good start to his afternoon. Let's take a look at the scouting report for Henderson Alvarez, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Really relies on that fastball. In that start where he shut out the Angels, he used his fastball a lot, got 14 ground ball outs in that game. He's got one of the better sinkers, but it has been very inconsistent of late. When he is on, he's got that good running, sinking fastball, and his changeup's a little bit better also.
Another strike with a fastball. That time cuts 97. Meiser is Sturis, now 31 years old. It's a start. Sturis making his 10th start at second and slaps the ball past Laurie into left. There's a first inning base hit off Henderson Alvarez, and this has been a problem for him. He has not fared well in the first inning. His ERA almost at 8. The opponents have been about 350 against him.
Yeah, he's finding himself. I don't care how hard you throw, but you've got to place the ball down. And it seems like whenever he elevates the baseball, that's when he gets hurt. He's given up a lot of home runs, and for a sinker ball pitcher, that's not good to pitch above the 5.
So now with 1 out, he'll deal with Albert Pujols. Pujols is 0 for 4 against Alvarez, and those at-bats came when Alvarez shut out the Angels back in May. Pujols was struggling, and Alvarez was great.
He had a great changeup and a great sinker that day.
Line drive left field. Davis back in front of the track, makes the catch. Pujols hit it hard.
Henderson Alvarez is going to have to figure out a way to keep his hand on top of the baseball, really drive the ball down. Watch where this pitch is. Aaron Sebia wants it away, and it's up and over the middle of the plate. And that's where you're going to get hurt when you've got the ball there. At times, he gets his hand on the side of the baseball. Instead of the ball going down, it goes side to side. And he's got to really concentrate and make sure his fingers are on top of that baseball.
Nothing good happens when you throw high sinkers. Pujols that time hit it right on the line. Kendrys Morales starting at first base. There goes Sturis. The ball is hit into left field. That's a base hit, and you can see quickly everybody converging at third base with that shift on.
Well, with that runner taking off, Juno Escobar, who is guarding second base, so the whole left side is wide open. It's the pitcher's responsibility to read that, and he got over there.
Pat, you made a great point about the elevation of that pitch to Pujols, and Alvarez is going to have to get the ball down. And John Farrell has talked to his starters. You know, they say, well, we're trying to get it down. Well, you know, this is beyond trying. You've got to get the ball down, and you have to stay down. That's where Alvarez is most effective, and especially with that sinking fastball.
The mindset that he wants to put in with his starters is not throw the ball through the catcher, throw the ball down to the catcher. So you've got to stay on top of all your pitches.
Oh, missed inside. Mark Trumbo had a single in 4 at-bats last night. He had a home run and an RBI triple in the opener on Thursday night. He's a good-looking young hitter. 19 homers for Trumbo, who's starting in right field this afternoon. That's where you got to be. Right down around the knees and lower.
That looked like a changeup from Alvarez with good arm speed, and watch the depth and where it is. Trumbo's got to reach for it. Look how off balance Mark Trumbo is, the batter, when you keep the ball down and away from a big hitter like this.
Ball and a strike. There's a good sinker. Alvarez will go to the bag himself, and the inning is over. Took him just 9 pitches to get through the first. Good start for Henderson Alvarez. One game over 500. Rajay Davis in his last 15 games has really swung the bat very well. 19 for 52. He's got 3 doubles, a triple, and he's driven in 6. He had 2 steals in last night's game. Laurie, Rasmus, and Bautista. Laurie and Rasmus were shut out last night for one of the few times since they moved into the top of the order. Escobar had the big hit in last night's game, an opposite field double that pushed the Blue Jays out in front.
This is Garrett Richards, who was called up at the end of May to replace Jared Weaver when Weaver went on the disabled list. Richards has been impressive, allowing just a run or fewer in 3 of his 4 starts. He's a former first-round draft pick by the Angels in 2009, just 24 years old, and in his 2nd season with Los Angeles. You got to make him throw the ball over the plate. In 27 2/3 innings, he's had 13 walks.
He's a hard thrower. He'll come right at you. He's got good velocity, and Rick Laurie will step in and try to get things going. Laurie went 0 for 5 last night. 95 with a strike from Richards. Laurie and Colby Rasmus both went 0 for 5. That's one of the few times they have been shut out since they've moved into the top of the order. That's a base hit just inside the bag. Laurie is headed for second. Mark Trumbo retrieves it, and Brett Lloyd breaks his bat, but gets a seeing-eye double down the right field line.
That'll make up for some of those line drives that are right at the infielders. Richard really stalled off Brett Laurie. He's got a great sinking fastball. He jams Laurie, but he hits it perfectly right between the bag and the first baseman, Kendrys Morales. And with nothing on the ball, you see it almost die in right field. Don't allow Laurie to get over to second base. By the time Mark Trumbo runs it down.
15th double of the season for Brett Laurie, starting to rack up the extra base hits. Colby Rasmus now 1 for 10 so far in the series. He hits the ball to shortstop, and Romine goes to third, not in time. Brett Laurie, as he always does, gives you everything he has on the bases, and he beat the throw to third base.
It's the first inning. You've got a young pitcher out on the mound. Get it out when you can. the ball's hit to his left, so the play's got to be to first base. It's not a real good throwing angle from the shortstop with that runner coming in right over your shoulder, so the throw's got to come to the inside part of the bag, and by that time that gives Laurie the outside part of the bag. So instead of runner on third, one out, there's two on, nobody out.
Great slide, and you're right, that's not a good play by the shortstop. Take the out early in the ball game. Nobody out, runners at the corners for Jose Bautista. Bautista with 14 home runs this month. He's one off the American League record for homers in June.
And it's a who's who in baseball for home runs in the month of June.
15 home runs. Bob Johnson of the Philadelphia Athletics hit 15 in June of 34. Babe Ruth of the Yankees hit 15 in June of 1930. And Roger Maris in that great year of 61 had 15 home runs in June.
Rosie's got one more day to do it right here.
On the ground. Romine to second for one. Back to first, double play, and Laurie comes in to score. The Blue Jays are on the board. Bautista does not get an RBI, but the Jays are out in front.
As Bautista makes his way back to the dugout, let's take a look at the scouting report for young Garrett Richards of the Los Angeles Angels. He has all the pitches you need to be a big league starter. Importantly, he's got a very good sinking fastball. When he's on, he will get a lot of ground ball outs, but he throws 95, 96 miles an hour. That fastball can cut or it can sink. His slider is his strikeout pitch.
Misses with the slider to Encarnacion. Edwin at 289 for the season. Had an RBI double in last night's game. He was hit by a pitch and singled. Finished up 2 for 3 in the ballgame.
I asked him today how that arm was feeling. He wasn't real happy. You can see he's got a little bit of a pad just above his elbow on that left arm. Doesn't like to wear padding.
Last 10 games, he's really swung the bat very well. Double, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. Yeah, a lot of guys don't care to have that padding, but Encarnacion is hit so often there. He's had to give in.
So he'll wear it just to protect it while that soreness is still in that arm. And then he'll take it off. Now, if he goes out there and hits a couple of home runs with that padding on, he might want to think about leaving it there.
Hey, Richards missed badly down and away, trying to come inside with that fastball.
You see it's 97 miles an hour with very good movement. That has been the problem. A little bit inconsistency in the strike zone. Edwin trying to put one on the Edwin porch in left center.
Ground ball to third. Callaspo all the way across the diamond, uses the turf and throws Encarnacion out. But the Blue Jays get on the board. Leadoff double as Laurie comes around to score.
Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful Canada Day weekend here in Toronto, and the lake is very busy. Lake Ontario with a lot of boaters out this afternoon. Alberto Callaspo has been a real thorn in the Blue Jays' side throughout his career. In this series so far, he is 1 for 3 and goes after that first pitch, hits it right to Kelly Johnson. This is one thing that John Farrell has really talked about from his starting pitchers. After your club scores a run, you'd love to see the pitcher come right out and put up a 0 the next half inning, just to keep the momentum in your dugout.
Keep the pressure on that other team also by filling up that strike zone with strikes. And if you make pitches with the kind of stuff that Henderson Alvarez has, you can get guys out and get them out quickly.
Peter Borges in center field here this afternoon takes a first pitch strike. Alvarez so far has been pretty good down in the zone.
He just made a couple of mistakes in the first inning, and they were both hit hard by the Angel. But when he's down, he'll get those grounders.
We've talked about the balance of this lineup, and of course Alvarez threw his only complete game shutout against the Angels back in May out in Anaheim. Totally dominant.
I don't remember too many balls above the belt in that game against the Angel hitters. Everything was down. His changeup, I think, is a key pitch for him. He's got to be able to throw that over for strikes and get them to chase after it, because it changes the miles per hour. Doesn't really have a go-to strikeout type of pitch, but if he can locate his changeup along with that good sinking fastball, he can get big league hitters out.
Yeah, strikeouts have been a concern for Alvarez. He just didn't have that sharp breaking ball to record those strikeouts. And there's a high fastball. Borges takes a high fastball. Not exactly where he wanted it, but effective. And you talked about Alvarez getting the ball down. What's he got to do with the baseball to get the ball down in the zone?
I think the important thing for Alvarez is make sure he gets his fingers on top of the ball so he drives it down. At times he throws it and it's off to the side like this, and that makes the ball go side to side. So just get your fingers on top, drive it down, and that's what will get that ball down in the lower part of the strike zone.
It sounds like a very small adjustment, but just keeping your fingers on top can have a dramatic impact on that baseball. You get on the side of it and it'll run along the plane of the bat. Andrew Romine, he too is a switch hitter. He is making his first start of the season at shortstop. Pops it back out of play. If you recognize the name Romine, you are right. His brother, Austin Romine, is a catcher in the Yankees system who's dealing with injuries this season. Their father, Kevin Romine, played in the big leagues.
His dad was a pretty good catcher. Played against him when he was with the Boston Red Sox. And Austin, good baseball family.
Well, Henderson Alvarez did exactly what the Blue Jays needed. A 1-2-3 inning. Couple of strikeouts, both called strike 3. This time the fastball catches the inside corner. These caps, t-shirts, and much more. JShop.ca is the official online merchandising site for the Toronto Blue Jays, and that red jersey is always a popular item on Canada Day. Blue Jays will have those jerseys on tomorrow, and there's somebody that's jumped the gun.
Saw him walking around yesterday after the game outside the Rogers Center here. Look at that. They're everywhere.
It's really a sharp jersey. I love the red, and certainly on Canada Day, very appropriate. So come on out to Rogers Center tomorrow, and if you can't, log on to JShop.ca. Kelly Johnson 1 for 5 in a series so far. That hit came in the opener on Thursday, and a double in his first at bat. This one shatters his back. Already, and we're just in the second inning, Garrett Richards has eaten up some lumber.
That one ended up in about 2 or 3 pieces. Looked like he was going to be right on top of it, right in the middle of the bat.
It was when he started to swing at it, and the ball took it to the barrel.
Look at that. And it ended up going right off the end of the bat. That's that type of sinker that Richards has.
Little flare down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Mike Trout gets over. Here's the throw to second. Not in time. A leadoff double for Kelly Johnson.
There are 5 tools that a big leaguer has to have if you're a superstar: hit, run, hit for power, field, and throw. And this might be the weakest link of Mike Trout. The throwing. It's good. It's a little bit above average, but much better when he can really keep his legs underneath him. Thought he had a shot at Kelly Johnson, and Kelly's thinking double all the way. Puts his head down and slides him just ahead of the throw. Blue Jays with 2 doubles already this afternoon. That's been a real weak spot in their offensive attack. Yunel Escobar with a big night last night, both at the plate and in the field. Escobar went 3 for 4 in the ball game. He reached base all 4 times, and he drove in the go-ahead run in the 7th with an opposite field double. Good thing about that game last night that you were just talking about is he hit the ball all over the field. That's when Escobar is at his best. Hold the ball to left field, hit one to center, dump one into right field. Just make sure the ball is down. And you can forget about this one. 2-run home run, Yunel Escobar. No doubt about it. You know, when you're around the game as long as we have been, you just, from the sound of the bat hitting the ball, you know when the ball's leaving the ballpark. That had tremendous sound from Yunel Escobar. Sinker that didn't sink, stayed in the middle, and he knows he got it. Nothing good happens to sinkers that are above the belt. Home run number 5 for Escobar, and he's having a start to this homestand. Well, the Blue Jays are absolutely pounding on that baseball. You were right about the sound. Boy, ball players love to hear that sound. You know when you're squaring up, a distinct crack of the bat. And the trajectory and the feel when it comes off the bat. You just know that you got yourself a 2-run homer. That is the perfect example of a bloop and a blast right there. So a bloop by Johnson for extra bases, and the blast by Escobar for the home run. 2-0. Rajay pops it up over in front of the Blue Jays dugout. Iaspo gets there. The Blue Jays lost their pitchers the second week of June. They lost 3 starting pitchers. And boy, since then the offense has been hitting on all cylinders. A .278 average. They've scored almost 6 runs a game. And look at the home runs. 30 home runs in 18 games. And the doubles also. We were talking about extra bases or the lack of extra base hits by the Blue Jays. Other than the home runs, they've now hit more doubles than home runs. And it's a lineup that is extended if Adam Lind can do the things that he's capable of.
John Farrell was talking about that today. He said, you know what, we've got our pitching problems, but boy, if Lynn can come back to the form he had a couple of years ago, that would certainly make things a lot easier. And you're right, just about stretching out the lineup. A lot of teams are top heavy, and the Blue Jays certainly have been top heavy with the first four in this batting order. They have carried the majority of the offense of late, but boy, if you could get Escobar, Davis, and Lynn swinging the bats down in the bottom part of the order.
They have had their days, too, the bottom of the lineup, where they have really carried the team offensively. And here's a guy, Lynn, that is hitting 8th right now. He had a couple of long balls yesterday.
It's this ball hard into center, but Peter Borges gets over and makes the catch. 2 outs, and we're going to go back to yesterday, and Lynn had the pivotal blow in the ball game, a 3-run homer in the 5-run third.
First of all, a curveball from Irvin Santana stays back and hits it to right center, and then off the left-hander, he was pumping fastballs away from him, stayed over the top of that ball, created backspin, and kept carrying for a multi-home run game.
Last night, the bottom 4 in the lineup did most of the offensive damage, including Lind in that 8th spot. The last 4 hitters had 8 of the 11 hits. J.P. Arencibia had one of those 8 hits. He had a double in 4 at-bats. Oh, and 2. Been a tough stretch for Arencibia. His last 28 games, he's hit just 170 with 40 strikeouts. He's had some offensive production, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. Drives this one into right. That'll get down for a base hit. An 0-2 base hit for Arencibia. Good start to his ball game.
Good piece of hitting right there. 2 strikes, and Richards tries to throw a breaking ball. Watch how he stays with it. Head down and just shoots it to right field.
Doesn't make a difference right now to the Blue Jay hitters who they're facing. They're swinging the bat so well. Everybody in the lineup's got a lot of confidence. Brett Lawrie has already doubled. He scored the first run of the ball game. That ball gets right through the catcher, Bobby Wilson. Mentioned the dramatic movement and the velocity that Gary Richards has. That ball handcuffed Bobby Wilson. He'll be charged with the pass ball. He was just late with the glove. That ball beat him. So Arencibia's in scoring position. Already called time, and Garrett was in the midst of his delivery but had to shut it down. The Blue Jays last night, in winning that game 7-5, went 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. To center, and Borges got a great read and it handcuffed it. He dropped the ball. Arencibia comes in to score. That ball was hit so hard it looked like it may have been a knuckleball all the way to the center fielder.
And it really handcuffed Peter Borges in center field, one of the more sure-handed outfielders in baseball. He will be charged with his first error of the season. This ball is smoked by Lawrie. Gets his hands inside the baseball, and the ball just took off. And Borges, this is it.
Boy, he got right over in front of it, and it looked like it had some late movement and handcuffed him. Certainly wasn't a ball that got into the sun. It was just one that was hit so hard and handcuffed the center fielder. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out to talk to Garrett Richards. The Blue Jays have hit the ball hard. Escobar had a line drive, 2-run, a home run. And that ball was crushed by Brett Laurie. He won't have much to show for it. It'll be in the air.
Adam Lynn hit a P to center field, a P-Rod right at the center fielder also.
Richards isn't fooling the Blue Jays. Colby Erasmus hit a ground ball to shortstop his first time up. Brett Laurie looks like he's anxious to run at first. John Farrell knows he's going to have to give the offense a full rein, free rein. They can just take the offense. They feel like they can run, go ahead. He knows they're going to have to score 7, 8 runs a game. Most often because of the pitching, the way it's been knocked down because of injuries.
And the players have the green light. There are a couple players that have it. Rajai Davis obviously has it. Brett Laurie has the green light. But these top couple batters have really worked together. They've really become entwined with each other and working well together. Laurie might give a sign to Rasmus to let him know when he might want to steal. There's also times where they will interact with each other within the contents of an at-bat to tell each other what they're thinking.
Now, this is the one thing about a stable lineup that can really be an asset. When you have guys hitting in the same order all the time. Just foul as Rasmus threw the head out and pulled it. When you have guys hitting in the same spot, they become used to the batter at the plate. So they know bounce they like to hit in. They know when they're going to take a pitch. You have a real good feel for it. And they'll talk. They talk an awful lot in between innings on the bench when they're not on the bases or in the batter's box. Hey, I see this guy really well. If you want to run, we can play hit and run. 0-2, 2 outs.
All those little things like that, or hey, if it gets to 2-0, I feel really confident. If you want to steal there, I'll take a pitch because I like this guy. I can hit with 1 strike against this guy. If you feel like you can get a jump, go ahead and steal, and they'll give signs to each other from the first base or from the batter's box to each other what they want them to do.
Yeah, that's a great point, because if you are in a ball game, and they haven't seen Richards a lot, but you get an at bat under your belt and say, hey, you know what, I'm really seeing the ball well. So if I get to a point where Richards falls behind 2-0, I'll take a pitch. You feel like you can get a jump, go ahead.
You know who it makes it a lot easier on? Managers. I mean, they end up managing what they want to do. That happened a lot with that Blue Jay team in the early 90s, especially the top of the lineup. Devon White and Robbie Alomar, Joe Carter, they didn't need to be managed. They managed themselves in the game.
And you let the players go ahead and play their own game until you see that you need to stop.
Right.
If they have some bad decisions like Laurie early in the season, got thrown out trying to steal third with Bautista at the plate, then he got thrown out at home plate. So you talk those things over and you tell them there are better times to be aggressive. You can see Rasmus is seeing the ball well off of Richards. Trumbo won't get this one. Laurie is around second. He's being waved home. Here's the relay. There's no throw, and Laurie comes in from first on the third Blue Jay double of the afternoon. Colby Erasmus with the RBI.
What a beautiful swing from Colby Erasmus. You were right. Garrett Richards right now is fooling no one. 2-2 pitch, and it's about belt high over the middle of the plate. And with that great speed of Brett Laurie, the whole key to this, the ball stays in the ballpark. It short hops the wall in deep right center field, and there's not going to be a play on Laurie at the plate.
For Rasmus, his 46th RBI of the season. He has now taken the lead in that department for center fielders in the American League. He's one ahead of Curtis Granderson. Jose Bautista grounded into a double play his first time up. 5-0 Blue Jays. Bautista had made up his mind he was going to swing, and then that ball just really dove down and in.
And he is going to be called for a swing right there. Watch the home plate umpire point at him and say that he went. So that the count is 1-1. Can't make up your mind before you see the ball.
Base hit left field. Rasmus is around third. Mike Trout's throw is cut off. 6-0 Blue Jays. That's the 500th RBI of Jose Bautista's career.
And it wasn't a home run, but it was another solid hit. Breaking ball, and he whips it right past Callaspo, the third baseman, has no chance to knock it down. Jose Bautista has now driven in 62 runs.
Henderson Alvarez is trying to stay loose. Hitting is contagious. You get a club on a roll, everybody starts to swing the bats well, and you keep the opposing pitcher in the stretch. The doubles have been key here this afternoon. 3 doubles in the game. And all 3 of those doubles have come in to score.
Yeah, you keep doubling like that or walking, dropping in a base hit here and there. He stays in that stretch and he feels like he's always in trouble. You hit a home run and then he gets to go back to his windup, start all over.
There's another base hit into left field. Bautista is going to challenge Mike Trout. Here's the throw. It's over the head and into the dugout. Bautista forced Trout into the air and he'll come in to score.
That is one aspect of Jose Bautista's game that we don't talk enough about. His base running and how smart he is, how alert, how prepared he is as a baseball player every day. John Farrell was telling me the other day he is a superstar in every aspect because he's prepared. That time he challenges Mike Trout. And Trout comes up throwing, but he airmails it over the third baseman. He's going to get the Blue Jays another run by sheer hustle.
Angels have committed 2 errors this inning. Bautista reads it perfectly and knows that that goes right to the left fielder, and he forces Mike Trout into throwing the ball high, and it ends up in the dugout.
Very tough to go first to third on a base hit to left field. The first thing you want to do is you want to see where the ball is hit and where the outfielder is. Bautista read that Mike Trout was taking the ball was taking him away from third base. He knew he had to come over, turn all the way around, and then throw an accurate ball to third base. It was going to be bang bang. It had to be executed perfectly, and it wasn't. He got him a run.
Kelly Johnson started it all with a bloop double down the left field line. Seven nothing Jays. Little looper down the line, and Mike Trout will not get it. It bounces over his head. Encarnacion is in to score. And Kelly Johnson is headed for third. Here's the throw. Not in time. The Blue Jays have out-hustled the Angels in this inning, and it's led to a 7-run inning.
Everything happening right for the Blue Jays, everything happening wrong for the Angels right now. Looper to left field. Trout gets a little bit too close for it, and in the afternoon games when that turf gets hot, the sun beats down on it, it gets a little bit springy. Ball bounces over his head. Johnson ends up at third.
Yunel Escobar has homered in this inning. Johnson's second triple of the season. First pitch strike. Blue Jays have 5 extra base hits already this afternoon. The ball is just foul. And Mike Scioscia doesn't have anybody throwing in the bullpen. Second inning. And Harry Richards is going to have to give the Angels some depth.
Yeah, he's going to have to give him some length into this game because Mike Scioscia doesn't want to blow up this whole bullpen.
Breaking ball pulled foul.
They've got a lot of one-inning guys in that bullpen for the Angels. They just don't have the guys that can give you multiple innings, so they haven't even moved down there this inning.
High fastball, and Escobar strikes out. The inning comes to an end, but the Jays score 7 runs on 7 hits, and Yunel Escobar got it going. A 2-run home run, his 5th of the season. He's a big inning for the Jays. They lead it 8-0. And this has been a great month for the offense. They are third in the American League in runs scored. Jose Bautista picked up an RBI. And Encarnacion scored a run and had a base hit in that inning. Kelly Johnson, Kobe Erasmus, all having big innings. Kelly Johnson had 2 extra base hits in that inning, had a double and a triple, and drove in a run. 7 runs on 7 hits. That's the biggest inning the Angels have given up this season. Second time Blue Jays have scored 7 runs in an inning.
That happened back in April in Baltimore. It's amazing what the home run will do for you. Blue Jays 9th in the American League in batting average, but 3rd in runs scored.
Second to the Yankees in home runs, and that's what John Farrell says. When he's thinking about making pitching changes, he's always thinking that I am just one swing of the bat from scoring 2 or 3 runs. So he's always trying to keep the game in that range. There's a little looper off the bat of Bobby Wilson that gets down in front of Rajai Davis, a leadoff single. Once again, Henderson Alvarez just got to get that ball down in the zone. Anything up in that zone, even if you break a bat, it's got a chance for a hitter to flare it into the outfield.
Sat down there for a long time, the bottom of the 2nd inning. He came out very quickly to get loose, but look where that ball is, about a letter high. And that's good hitting speed also. You wouldn't believe the difference if you just get that ball down around the knees, how tough it is to hit and how easy it is to hit when it's up.
Well, the physics of it are pretty simple. You throw a ball up around your eyes, you're going to see it better. You throw it down around your knees, you got to search to find it.
And you got to reach for it, and your balance, you're thrown off balance.
Mike Trout grounded to shortstop his first time up.
Getting on the side again. You can see his hand motion when he's getting ready to let go of that baseball. His hand is on the side instead of on top of the ball. And it's going side to side. It's spinning sideways.
.93, but out of the strike zone, it's 2-1. Pitch. He's all out of sync, and he continues to shake that right arm, and that's the problem area for him last time in Boston was the right elbow.
Yeah, and he started losing his spot also. He was getting wild. You see him stretching out just a little bit, and yeah, we've noticed him shaking his arm. We'll watch velocity and we'll watch command, because those are the two things that leave you when you've got an elbow problem or an arm problem. This one gets away from him. You're not able to get out there and finish your pitch. You're not get out there and get that extension that you need.
3-1 to Mike Trout. And that's one thing too. Alvarez last year, when he was so good, pitched at 93, maybe 94. He had much better movement and certainly had much better command. We have seen him as high as 97 this year, but when he's up there, he's not as effective. Full count.
I wonder if that is him thinking he needs to strike people out by throwing the ball harder instead of throwing the ball where you need to.
Last year when he was in his first season in the big leagues, he just pitched to contact, and that worked very well for him. And he's heard a lot about no strikeouts, no strikeouts, and you're right. He might subconsciously muscle up on that ball and get better velocity, but the ball straightens out.
He hasn't heard it from us. You know, we like the splits that he had last year. I think it was something like 5-1 strikeouts to walks. That's more important, I think, to me, that type of no walks and that type of strikeout to walk ratio. And he was doing it a lot last year by keeping the ball down and getting great sinking action on that fastball.
Trout strikes out. That's the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Watch over 50 years of Honda racing innovation at the Honda Indy Toronto, July 6th to 8th. Get tickets at HondaIndy.com.
Meiser single to left field his first time up. Alvarez right back in there. That long inning, Blue Jays has scored 7 runs on 7 hits in the bottom of the second, and it took a long time. And Alvarez was in the dugout, and you saw him up using that towel trying to stay loose. Maybe now he's just getting loose again. He's back down where he needs to be in this at bat with Meiser.
Yeah, those first couple of pitches of the inning, it just didn't look like he was loose. And he was shaking his elbow like he was trying to loosen it up a little bit. Blew a ball right by Trout.
Another high ball. This ball is going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Bobby Wilson is being waved around third. He'll come in to score. Izturis stops at second. And Meiser Izturis is 2 for 2, and the Angels are on the board. Another pitch up, out over the plate, and Izturis jumped all over it. His 7th RBI of the season.
Meiser has lost some playing time. So when you get a chance, do something. That ball about belt high and out over the plate. Not a lot of movement on it either. And Izturis rips it for his 6th double.
And now Albert Pujols. Pujols hit the ball sharply on the line to the left fielder, Rajay Davis, in the first. The bottom half of the second took 25 minutes. So Alvarez had a long inning sitting in the dugout. He had a 1-2-3 second inning. He worked right through the bottom of the order. He retired him in order and had a couple of strikeouts.
And it's not like he could have gone up into the clubhouse and sat down. A lot of that damage happened with 2 outs, so he had to stay on that bench. This is what we were talking about with that towel. You just simulate the throwing motion just to keep the shoulder and the elbow loose. You don't want to use a baseball. You also use that towel to make sure you get the ball out in front and try and get a snapping sound when you come through.
Ball on the strike to Pujols. Popped in the air. Kobe Rasmus, the center fielder, moves under it. Pujols has retired. 2 down. Meiser Izturis with an RBI double. He's still at second base. Kendrys Morales starting at first base this afternoon. Had a line drive base hit into left. Hit it past Brett Glory on a sharp hop. Ball on the strike.
Oh, it looked like it cut just a little bit.
Didn't try to throw it so hard. Maybe 7 miles an hour. Good late movement here.
Right underneath the bat. If you can make a ball do that and then have that good sinker, that's what the Blue Jays are looking for. Those type of movements. Change up.
Ball. Alvarez will toss to first, and the inning is over. The Angels get a run. They're on the board, but the Blue Jays lead at 8-1. For the inside scoop on the Blue Jays and the latest stories from around baseball, visit our MLB Mashup blog on sportsnet.ca. It features Shai Davidi and Mike Cormack. Opportunity to catch up on all the baseball news on sportsnet.ca. Henderson Alvarez with a comfortable 8-1 lead. And with an RBI double to Maestros Sturis, and then got Pujols and Morales to end the inning. 7-8-9 for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the third. Ball on a strike to Rajay Davis. Davis popped up in foul territory. His first time up. Takes that breaking ball.
Garrett Richards has a very good arm. He can really sink the ball. He's got a good slider, but he really crossfires, throws across his body, and that really, I think, prohibits him from throwing consistent strikes. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, really worked with him this spring about smoothing out his delivery just a little bit and really keeping him in a straight line, much like Kyle Drabek of the Blue Jays, getting him going towards home plate. But you can see how he really throws across his body, and that's going to hurt him. It'll keep him from throwing consistent strikes.
It's interesting too, because when an organization has a young prospect coming through the system, they don't mess with them an awful lot. It's not until they get to the big leagues that they start to make adjustments. Davis pops up to the catcher. The Angels have done a good job, and obviously they haven't had an awful lot of high draft picks because of their success on the field during the regular season. But you look at the 2009 draft, and there's some notable names, of course. Steven Strasburg, first overall by the Nationals. Chad Jenkins, who's currently a Double-A, was 20th, and then Mike Trout and Garrett Richards. Pretty good draft for the Angels down in the order.
Somebody did a good job of finding Mike Trout, and you know who ended up being the scout who signed Mike Trout? He was taken after Jenkins. Mike Trout's father played baseball, professional baseball, with the Twins. He was a 5th-round draft pick, and his roommate from spring training in that year in Double-A was the guy who found Mike Trout and signed him.
Adam Lynn hits it a mile high into center field. Peter Borges makes the catch.
Greg Morehart was the scout. He was a roommate of Mike Trout's father, who was working for the Angels at the time as a scout in New Jersey. Recommended him, and why not? He knew his father really well. Here he is, and a couple years later in the big leagues.
Well, and too, that part of New Jersey, it's south central New Jersey. It's south of Cherry Hill and not far from Philadelphia, but it's farm country. New Jersey, of course, is the Garden State, and there's a lot of farmlands down there. Not a big place, not where you really think that there's a lot of baseball players, a lot of baseball prospects, but Trout was a multi-sport athlete in high school.
Didn't get a lot of at-bats in high school, but they knew him. 25th round draft pick, and that was a surprise that year. Mike, who, you know, in the first round? They're not saying that now.
No. His athleticism would make you believe that he's going to be a top round draft pick, the way he runs and the power he possesses with the bat.
That's why I'm always drafting high ceiling athletic players. And we talk about it all the time about athletes, because they can do so many different things on a baseball field.
1-2, 2 outs. Sebia fouls it back. And you know, it's not only what we think, but that's certainly what the Blue Jays think. And Alex Anthopoulos has said it time and time again. We're drafting athletes, people that are athletic. For a long time, and especially during the steroid era, a one-dimensional player could survive and have a good career. Big slugger could just knock the ball out of the ballpark. Wasn't a good defensive player. Strike 3 call. Aaron Sebia is called on that high breaking ball. He didn't like the call, but the inning has come to an end. Garrett Richards has a 1-2-3 bottom of the third inning. This is a big breaking ball, and it looked like it's up in the zone, but Aaron Seavey is called out. There'll be a licensed area, live music, fun, interactive games. Come celebrate Canada Day with the Blue Jays. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com and order your tickets or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Come celebrate Canada Day here at Rogers Center. There'll be a lot of activities outside Gate 10, and it all starts around noon. And remember, the start time for the game is just after 3.
That's right. So you can go out tonight, have a nice cookout, sleep in tomorrow, come a couple of hours later, and watch the Blue Jays and the Angels in the finale of this 4-game series.
Sounds like a good deal. Mark Trumbo pops this one up. Escobar, the shortstop, backs up. And Trumbo's retired. Now it's time for the farm report, and we'll take a look down in the minor leagues at some options the Blue Jays have as far as starting pitching. Sean O'Sullivan, a former Angel who was acquired from the Kansas City Royals, in his last 2 starts at AAA, has thrown 12 innings, did not allow an earned run. And Chad Jenkins is getting better and better as the season's gone on at AA.
Last 4 starts, his ERA just over 2 down in AA. The problems that the Jays have had, I think you can think all the way down to AA of possibilities who could make their way here to Toronto and pitch for the Blue Jays this year.
Backhanded by Encarnacion, and he beats Callaspo to the bag. Edwin has played very well all season long defensively at first. He's committed just 1 error, and that came on Wednesday in Boston.
On a tricky hop, and here's another one right here to his backhand side. Stays right with it, picks it off the turf, and then races Callaspo to the bag and beats him. He's made 2 errors this year, 1 at third and his first one of the season, like you mentioned the other day on a hot smash by Gonzalez.
Peter Borges jabs at that ball and bunts it foul. Looked like Borges thought bunt, no, and then made up his mind very late to take a jab at it.
Well, if you're going to bunt on Henderson Alvarez, he's an excellent athlete. It's got to almost be a perfect bunt because he covers so much ground when he comes charging off that mound.
Alvarez has done a good job this afternoon getting ahead of Angel batters. He's thrown 12 of 16 first pitch strikes. I don't care who you are, that changes the complexion of a ball game for a starting pitcher. The hitters are defensive. They fall behind 0-1, and all of a sudden the pitcher's got the upper hand.
You look all throughout baseball, those splits when pitchers get ahead or fall behind, and they're always better.
Just about 100 points on average from 1-0 to 0-1. Encarnacion. Another easy inning for Henderson Alvarez. 3 up, 3 down. Took him just 8 pitches to dispatch the Angels in the 4th. Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are TD Comfort Zone contest winners. We'll get a chance to sit in the front row here at Rogers Center. It's all courtesy of TD. How about that, Brian Butterfield, the third base coach? He's getting some love from this crowd.
I saw that sign in his locker before the game.
Noticed he had some red paint on his hands.
No, we're just kidding.
Brett Laurie has scored twice this afternoon. He doubled and then reached on an error. Brett Laurie has got a lot of fans here at Rogers Center. And a lot of young female fans, I might add.
If you want to get on the broadcast, just make signs like that. Come on down to the ballpark. They're everywhere.
I love the signs we had last night in the ballgame out in center field. A couple of young girls had a sign that said, "Please, Mr. Laurie, hit me a home run." And then they'd flip it over to Mr. Rasmus and Mr. Bautista. And Mr. Laurie has his second hit of the afternoon. He's been on base 3 times.
Double to right field, got onto an error, now stays back on a curveball. Gets it right back through the middle. His stroke is getting better and better.
How about that? Yesterday, Laurie and Rasmus went 0 for 10 in the ball game. They have 3 hits already this afternoon. Combined, they've scored 3 runs. Rasmus has an RBI. You can't keep him quiet for long. Morales to second for 1. Back to first, not in time as Morales was off the bag. Here's Morales making his 4th start at first base. Makes a good play. Gets the lead runner at second.
We were down in Miami when Brett Laurie got a shipment of new bats in. He started getting hot, so he goes out there and start using the Brett Laurie model. It's Colby Rasmussen. You see it all the time.
Yeah, guys change bats all the time. Somebody gets hot and everybody's going to dive for the bat. The worst offender of that was Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez wouldn't even ask if he could use the bat. He'd just grab a bat out of the bat rack and go to the plate and hit. Jose Bautista. Jose's picked up an RBI here this afternoon. It was his 500th career run batted in. Sitting on 14 home runs for the month of June. Pops this one up back behind home plate and back over the screen. And we've mentioned it often, but Bautista has really come on hard here in the first half. After a slow start to his season, he has a 2-homer lead over Dunn and Hamilton, and Edwin Encarnacion right there. This way, Jose. Way out there. 1-1.
The American League record for home runs in any month is 18, done by Rudy York. I don't think Bautista is going to do that unless this game goes on forever.
Rudy York did that in August 1937. Hard to imagine a record holding up that long in this day and age.
And that's the American League record. The National League record,
a little more current. Sammy Sosa in June of '98 hit 20 home runs.
Wow, 20 home runs in 1 month. That's half my total for 10 years.
Many players never hit 20 home runs in their career. Sosa had a career in 1 month. Bautista with a 3-1 count. And he'll walk. Fastball up and in. So first and second now, and there's still just one out. Edwin Encarnacion had a single his last time up. It is a hot day and a summer day here. The Canada Day weekend, and a lot of fans on hand, and certainly the vendors should be busy selling those ice cold drinks. Edwin's 22nd home run came on Wednesday afternoon at Fenway. It was a 2-run home run off John Lester. Rolls over on that fastball and pulls it foul.
Another thing that's been impressive with Edwin Encarnacion, and we touched on it a little bit in last night's ball game, is his ability to time pitches and how he has seen the ball so well this year. There was a time when he was a wild swinger and you could get him out in a couple of different places. You could get him out up or down and away, but this year he's reading pitches so much better out of the pitcher's hand.
And to the Blue Jays' credit, they signed him and brought him back. A lot of people, when they heard the signing of Edwin Encarnacion, kind of wrinkled their nose and said, well, I don't know why you want to bring him back, but boy, what a move. He had a great second half to his season last year. And then this year, he was a savior in the month of April, for sure.
And he is the one guy who's hit from the beginning of spring training.
He just hit this one into the upper deck. Just a little bit foul, but he hit it a long way.
That's where Joe Carter used to hit a lot of balls, up there.
That guy right there came to the ballpark, and the last thing he thought was, hey, I'm going to get a foul ball today.
Not when he saw where his seats were.
That breaking ball is blocked by Bobby Wilson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilson and John Hester have been doing the majority of the catching since Chris Iannetta. He had surgery for a fracture in his hand. Iannetta is with the team. He's working out, but he's a ways away from returning to the ball club. Remember last year when Encarnacion was struggling? He didn't hit a home run till the end of May. John Farrell talked to him about this plate discipline, and he was just frustrated. He said, I haven't gone this long without hitting a home run. But he's been a different player this year.
Tried to hit home runs, and that's the worst thing you can do is try and muscle the ball out of the ballpark. We haven't seen that one time from Encarnacion this year. He has had the same approach.
That was a very slowly developing pickoff play. Rasmus had plenty of time to get back. Just in the bottom of the 4th, it's 8-1 Blue Jays, as they had a 7-run second inning. It is Junior Jays Saturday here at Rogers Center, and there are a lot of young fans on hand, and they're enjoying their time at the ballpark. A little face painting, getting a maple leaf on. Very appropriate little face painting here on the Canada Day weekend. Edwin Encarnacion's on everything that Richards throws right now. He's spoiling the great pitches and hitting the bad pitches hard but foul so far.
Just waiting for that one. Richards has thrown in a couple of tough ones that he is able to get a piece of and keep the at-bat alive. I'm just waiting for that one mistake all over the plate.
Encarnacion called out. He didn't think it was a strike. He had a good look at all of the pitches, but this time he gets caught looking at the breaking ball.
A couple of high breaking balls now for Richards to get his last couple of strikeouts. He got J.P. Arcidi at the end of 3rd, and now gets Edwin here for the second out. From the side, you can see it wasn't high.
And just above the belt, and certainly was over the plate. 2 down now. Kelly Johnson's had a good start to his day. He's doubled and scored and tripled and drove in a run. With Adam Lynn's return to the lineup and Kelly Johnson having a good start to his day, boy, these are 2 big left-handed bats the Blue Jays could really use to help stretch out the depth of their lineup.
Talk about it all the time about the balance. So you're not predominantly right-handed, you're predominantly left-handed. Makes things just a little bit tougher on that pitcher when you've got to face the equal amount of righties and lefties. Colby Rasmus at the top of the lineup from the left side, certainly doing his part.
Way outside, it's 3-1. The Angels are in the midst of a 9-game road trip. They played 2 in Baltimore before coming here to Toronto. They'll wrap up this series tomorrow afternoon. Then they go to Cleveland for 3 before heading back to the West Coast. Johnson walks and the bases are loaded.
And I think that's why you're seeing Mike Scioscia really stick with his starting pitcher now. The pitcher on the phone to get him up. That's 81 pitches, and he hasn't even finished the 4th yet. So he's got to get another inning out of his starter.
The Angels, when they go home, will play the Orioles for 4 games and then the All-Star break. So they don't have any off days. They will fly all the way back across the country after the All-Star break to take on the Yankees for 3, and then they head to Detroit. So they're right back to the East Coast after this trip. Go home for a 3-game series. The bases are loaded for Yunel Escobar. Escobar homered in his first at bat.
And just keep doing what you've been doing the last couple of nights. Standing up a little bit taller in that batter's box, not crouched over as much. 3 hits last night. A home run this afternoon.
He hits it deep into center field. Peter Borges makes a running catch, and the Blue Jays leave the bases loaded. They have an 8-1 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Tomorrow, as it's the free agent signing day. Hockey Central will have it all covered for you on Sunday starting at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Free Agent Frenzy. It's all right here on Sportsnet. Big day in the hockey world, obviously, with the free agents able to sign, and it'll all start at 12 Eastern Time on Sportsnet.
Who's the big free agent? Do you know? Because I know. It's sorry to put you on the spot there.
Zach Parise is one of them, and that's the guy that certainly everybody will have their eye on. And Sidney Crosby got a nice contract before the free agent signing period. He got an extension. But, yeah, it's a big time, obviously, and the hockey negotiations are ongoing. Donald Fear has got a bunch of players on the negotiating team now. Hopefully they'll get that done without an interruption. Andrew Romine gets a leadoff single, his first hit of the afternoon. He struck out his first time up. That starts the 5th for the Angels.
First hit of the season. Romine had a couple of hits in his big league career last year. This is his first hit this season. Sent that one right back through the middle.
Romine was just called up on the 18th of June from AAA. Bobby Wilson, the catcher. Wilson singled and scored the Angel run back in the 3rd inning. You certainly don't want to encourage this Angel ball club. They've been on fire with the bats, much like the Blue Jays. They scored 5 runs on 12 hits last night in a losing effort, and 9 runs on 14 hits in the series opener. So you start putting guys on base, and they've got guys in their lineup just like the Blue Jays that can get them back in the ball game quickly.
Averaging over 7 runs a game in their last 9 games on the road.
Wilson gets jammed and fouls it.
This is a good player right here. If you make a pitch, you can get the ball on the ground and with one pitch get 2 outs.
That was a good shot of Morales talking with Pujols and Ibar on the bench, going over what they have seen from Henderson Alvarez. Morales has a hit in 2 at-bats. Pujols is 0 for so far. Lazy fly ball that Davis backs up on, makes the catch. 1 out.
Watch over 50 years of Honda racing innovation at the Honda Indy Toronto, July 6th to 8th. Get tickets at HondaIndy.com.
A beautiful day. We'll be up on the CN Tower and look around. I bet you could see forever up there today. There's people walking out on the catwalk.
We'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Won't be long. We'll be walking around that catwalk ourselves. Mike Trout, the leadoff hitter. Trout's on a 11-game hit streak. That's a career high for Trout. Since the 1st of May, he scored 48 runs. That's the most in the majors.
I told you that's a dangerous team over there when you've got that type of electricity at the top of the lineup.
Bouncing ball to short. Escobar will go to second, just barely in time to get Romine. Boy, they made it close at second. Romine did a good job of hustling to the bag, but he is out by about a half a step.
He was thinking about breaking up the double play at second base. You're not going to turn 2 on a ball that is hit like this with Trout running, and with him going into the bag like this. I think if he goes straight in, he might have had a shot at beating it. And straight in really was trying to roll that second baseman and break up the double play.
Meister Estúas taps it back to the mound. Alvarez will go to the bag. The inning is over. The Angels leave a base runner. Middle of the 5th. Blue Jays lead at 8-1. First World Series. You'll get interviews with all the great players, lots of great photos, and all kinds of information. Sportsnet Magazine on newsstands now. Great memories for you, Mr. Tabler, as you were part of that team, and I can remember that celebration down in Atlanta.
Iconic picture right there, first of all. That's 20 years ago. It's hard to believe that was 20 years ago. Yeah, and that celebration in the clubhouse, Cito Gaston, taking in this afternoon's ball game. Got to spend it with my kids. They got to come in and throw beer on everybody.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's nothing like that. And certainly that's something that the Blue Jays kind of started in '85, bringing the families in for that first celebration. And that was important because they'd always been left out. But you're right, and I can remember '92, '93, all the families were inside, the wives, the kids, everybody was inside celebrating, and that's the way it should be. Families sacrifice so much during the year because of baseball.
Blue Jays have always been one of the best in baseball. Taking care of you and your family when you come up here. That was one thing, and the first thing I noticed when I signed here back in 1990, before the '91 season, how important the family was, and it all starts at the top.
Mr. Paul Beeston was involved since day one. He was the first hire of the Blue Jays, and he had a lot to do with that attitude. The late Peter Hardy and the late Peter Whittington from Labatt's also very concerned about how they could make Toronto a destination for major league players. And I can remember in '82 and '83, Mr. Hardy would take couples out and have dinners in a relaxed atmosphere, and he would ask us, how can we make Toronto a better place for major league families? And they were very concerned about it. Rajay Davis pops up for a third time. Jasper, the third baseman, makes the catch. That's the first out, bottom of the fifth.
Well, it became a destination place, didn't it?
Now, it became a destination for a couple of reasons. Pat Gillick, the general manager, put together a great team of homegrown players. And when the team became competitive enough to make trades to bring in the likes of Robbie Alomar and Joe Carter, then it became a destination. '92, after Jack Morris was the great pitching star for the Minnesota Twins, he signed as a free agent in Toronto.
But remember, before that great run that the Blue Jays were on, they were very close. They had some good players. What was Pat Gillick's nickname at that time?
Stan Pat. Because he wouldn't make any moves, but he, like Alex Anthopoulos, and Anthopoulos surely has taken some notes from Pat Gillick's career, had a big picture plan. As an expansion team, you had to create a foundation of homegrown talent.
Yeah, I remember those days from playing against the Blue Jays that you could see it coming with the good young players that were coming to the big leagues for the Blue Jays at the time. And I remember reading articles when I came up here about Pat Gillick, Stan Pat. He needs to go out and do something, make trades, but he stuck to his game plan. He stuck to his ideas, and he knew the type of players he had in the farm system that were coming. But then when he needed to make a deal to get him over the top, that's when he pulled the trigger.
And then he would give up those great players. Alfredo Griffin was a part of the early success of the Blue Jays and then came back to participate in those World Series years. Adam Lind is on base for the first time. He draws the one-out walk.
Want a better tasting burger? Then step up to the plate for a sirloin Uncle Burger at A&W. Made with 5 ounces of juicy sirloin, it's a taste of burger bliss.
J.P. Arancibia has singled, scored, and he's also struck out. He was called out on a high curveball last time up. He thought it was way up and out of the zone. But Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, rung him up. Garrett Richards has stabilized things for the Angels. The horse got out of the barn in the second. They gave up 7 runs on 7 hits, but Mike Scioscia needed some length from his starter, and he has kept him right there.
Now wanting to get through the 5th inning. He's closing in on 100 pitches. This is a guy whose average velocity this year is in the same neighborhood as Neftali Feliz, David Price, and Steven Strasburg. Right now, he just hasn't been able to harness that good fastball.
Just another reminder that's not all about the radar gun. You got to change speeds. You have to locate your pitches. You have to create some movement in the zone. 3-0 to Aaron Sebia. He'll take the walk. Back-to-back walks here by Garrett Richards in the bottom of the 5th. Mike Butcher's going to check on the status of his bullpen. They've got a right-hander throwing. David Carpenter, who appeared in the game last night, worked an inning in the ball game. And Mike Scioscia is going to the mound. Must have got the word that Carpenter was ready. Scioscia sees his starter get roughed up, but pitches him into the 5th inning, and there's the call to the bullpen. Garrett Richards is through for the day. It'll be the right-hander David Carpenter coming out of the bullpen to face Brett Lawrie when we come back. 8-1 Blue Jays. Seven-run second inning, and everybody got involved. Kelly Johnson had a double and a triple in that inning.
How about the loudest crack of the bat that inning off the bat of Nino Escobar? That ball was crushed to left field.
Escobar with a 2-run home run, and that jump-started a big 7-run inning. David Carpenter, the right-hander, making his 21st appearance of the season. We mentioned Carpenter came on in relief in the 6th inning of last night's game with nobody out and a couple of men on, and he got out of it. Got a strikeout in the double play.
He's got a good sinker and a good slider. And right now, Mike Scioscia is just looking for Carpenter to get through this one and maybe one more. You see that ground ball percentage, 60% of the balls that are hit off of him are on the ground, and that's what they're looking for right here to get out of the sitting.
Brett Lawrie faced Carpenter in that bottom of the 6th and hit a sharp line drive to third that was turned into an inning-ending double play. Laurie's been on base 3 times this afternoon. Been a good clutch hitter this season. 33 average. High and deep to left field. Mike Trout back at the wall. This ball is gone. 3-run home run for Brett Lawrie. His 3rd hit of the afternoon.
We were talking a couple of weeks ago about Brett Lawrie moving into the leadoff spot, getting more fastballs, getting more extra base hits, and that's exactly what we're starting to see from the young third baseman. when it left the bat, Carpenter doesn't give up a lot of home runs because he sinks the ball so much. When it left the bat, it looked like a fly ball that just kept going. High and deep. Laurie doesn't know he got it. Now he knows it has a chance, and there it goes.
Second home run of the season allowed by David Carpenter, and he squared it up. It was hit hard but high, and it just carried right out of the ballpark. Brett Laurie now with 8 home runs and 33 RBIs. Toby Rasmus. This ball is popped up over near the Blue Jays dugout. Bobby Wilson gets there and makes the catch. Ben Francisco is on deck, and he will bat for Jose Bautista. John Farrell has been talking to Bautista, and you can see George Poulos, the trainer. I believe Bautista got a little bit of a quad problem on his left leg. He has been a little concerned with that, and they've got a comfortable lead, an opportunity to give him some time off and address that. So he has been lifted in favor of the pinch hitter.
He plays every inning of every game, and he plays hard. He does it the right way. So any chance you get it to take him out and give him a couple of innings off his feet, I think you have to do that. I don't think it's anything serious. Just give him a chance. When that ball left the ballpark to make it a 10-run game, I think that's when the decision was made.
Yeah, you got a chance to get your star player half a game off, and you take advantage of it. And Francisco is in the hole 0-2. The Blue Jays have a tough assignment tomorrow in C.J. Wilson. Wilson has really done a great job. He's 9-4 with a 2.36 ERA. Francisco strikes out, and the inning is over. But Brett Laurie with a booming 3-run home run to the bullpen in left has put the Blue Jays way out on top. Laurie, his 8th home run of the season, was high and deep to left. A 3-run shot. It's 11-1 Jays. See, Rajai Davis has moved into left field, taking over for Jose Bautista, and Francisco has taken over in left. Pujols, Morales, and Trumbo for the Angels here in the 6th. Give you an idea how Henderson Alvarez has been today. That's just the 15th ball he's thrown in the ball game. Pujols is the 21st batter he's faced.
A great strike percentage. And he is still under 60 pitches for the game. Much more efficient. And the big lead early in the game, 8-0 after 2 innings, has allowed him to use his fastball a little bit more. Just concentrate on keeping it down.
There's a ball down, and it's hit to the second baseman. Kelly Johnson fires to Encarnacion. Pujols is retired. Five and a third, 5 hits. He hasn't walked a batter, and he's thrown just 60 pitches. Those are all great numbers for Henderson Alvarez, and I got to tell you, I wasn't so sure what we were going to get here this afternoon after he left his start in Fenway.
It certainly didn't look good, and it could have been a couple of different reasons. You see the 60 pitches, 73% strike percentage, and 8 ground ball outs already this afternoon. But it looked like he wrenched his back in that start in Boston, and that could have been a problem. And then the elbow problem. Went down, had an MRI, found that it was mild inflammation. And I'm with you. I did not think that he would be able to make the start.
Not only make it, but he has really shut down a red-hot Angel lineup. 5 hits, just a single run. Kendrys Morales is 1 for 2. Pretty good changeup, missed the outside corner. Well, it's no secret the Blue Jays need starters to pitch deeper. John Farrell's got a core of veteran relievers that have really bailed him out in this month of June. But they are on pace to have career high in appearances, and the foursome of Jansen, Cordero, Oliver, and Fraser have really pitched some tough innings this month.
Yeah, and they've all pitched well. Those 4. Cordero's on pace for about 85 games this year. And for a guy who was a closer, that's way too many. Too many appearances. Closers usually get about 60 or 65 appearances per season. He's now on pace for 85.
Fair ball. Encarnacion camped near the line at first. Will go to the bag. 2 outs. A couple of left-handers will wrap up this season series against the Angels. It'll be Aaron Laffey. Very good outing his first time out against the Red Sox. 6 innings of 3 hits. It all starts at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn. 11 a.m. Pacific time. And Laffey will be opposed by the very tough C.J. Wilson. Wilson in his first year with the Angels after signing a free agent contract. Mark Trumbo, big swing on the first pitch. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Henderson Alvarez. autograph sessions with Blue Jays. Membership cost is only $19.99. Go to BlueJays.com/kids or call 416-341-1715 to join the Junior Jays Club and take part in the great Junior Jays Saturday. Lots of kids having a great time at the old ballpark. Sign up today. Edwin Encarnacion has a hit and 3 trips this afternoon. Edwin's average up to 290. Boy, some hitters are getting fat lately.
Yeah, the whole lineup has been putting up some big numbers.
Lowry's average up to 293. He's had a 3-hit day today. Encarnacion is second at 290. Rajay Davis hitting 275.
55 RBIs for Encarnacion. Last year, it took him 481 at-bats to get to 55 RBIs.
His career high is 76 in runs driven in. It happened in 2007 with Cincinnati. Breaks his bat and hits a fly ball to left. Mike Trout comes over, makes the ground.
Watch over 50 years of Honda racing innovation at the Honda Indy Toronto, July 6th to 8th. Get tickets at HondaIndy.com.
A lot of great happenings around Toronto in the summertime. The lake is always such a part of what people do to enjoy the great summer weather, and then that Honda Indy race coming up in July. Kelly Johnson's had a big day at the plate. Doubled, tripled, and drove in a run, and then he's walked. He's been on base 3 times. Isn't it amazing how quickly things can turn around for a hitter? Just takes one good at bat, one good swing, and all of a sudden you say, there it is.
It's back.
That's what I've been looking for.
Yeah, got it. How about the guy he was traded for? The kind of couple of weeks he has had.
Aaron Hill. And he hit for the cycle for a second time in 11 days yesterday in Milwaukee.
4th player in Major League history to hit for the cycle twice in the same season. And just the 2nd to do it twice in a calendar month. Stay hot, big guy.
Kelly Johnson is on board for a 4th time. Yeah, Aaron Hill is looking a little bit more like the former Aaron Hill. He's swinging the bat very well for Arizona. And this guy is swinging the bat very well for the Blue Jays. Yunel Escobar had a 3-hit game last night, a 2-run home run in his first at bat this afternoon.
His last out was Loud's long fly ball to center field in the 4th inning.
Jim Reynolds and Yunel Escobar have a little bit of a discussion. Look at Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire. He didn't like the way Escobar reacted to that first called strike.
That has been a little bit of a problem for the Blue Jays. Being very demonstrative at home plate after calls go against them.
Jim Reynolds has to be thinking to himself, hey, it's 11-1. On the ground, Callaspo to second for 1, and there's no return throw. Tom Hallion, the second base umpire, indicating that Isturiz was taking the ball out of his glove, so Kelly Johnson is out on the 4 side. Isturiz trying to be a little too quick. That that ball popped out of his glove. I don't know if he had his hand in that glove.
Yeah, we'll be able to tell from the replay. But the rule states you have to be able to be reaching in there and taking the ball out. Let's see if, yeah, from that angle, it looked like he possibly had his hand. And in the transfer from glove to hand, the ball pops out, and Tom Hallion calls him out.
Jim Reynolds went all the way up the first base line because Escobar was hollering at him. And Reynolds is now explaining the situation. And he is hot. But Escobar, after he hit that ball to shortstop, had something to say back to the home plate umpire, and Reynolds heard it and walked all the way up the first base foul line. You can see him say, "Shut up." And Escobar is out on the fielder's choice. Rajay Davis hits the ball to shortstop. There's the force out. That ends the inning. But the Blue Jays have really broken out with the bats. 11 runs on 10 hits. It's all Blue Jays in the third game of a 4-game series. Cleveland Indians. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. Your $100 event ticket includes a 100-level outfield ticket to the Blue Jays and Indians game. Visit BlueJays.com/campout for more information. Jim Reynolds, a home plate umpire, having a chat with J.P. Arancibia, and you can see Reynolds is still venting after having a little bit of a confrontation with Yunel Escobar in that previous half inning. Alberto Callaspo has grounded out twice. Omar Vizquel has come into the game defensively at third base. Brett Lawrie has been taken out. Lawrie was on base 4 times this afternoon. He had a big day. So Lawrie and Bautista are out of the game. They have been taken out just to give them a rest. They play hard. They play every day. They play every inning, so you can get them off their feet for a half inning. It's like give them a day off.
Yeah, and it feels good when you get 3, 4, 5 innings off in a game. Blue Jays offense has made that possible this afternoon. 11 runs on 10 hits.
Bautista finished up 1 for 3 in the afternoon. Drove in his 62nd run of the season. His 500th career RBI. And Brett Lawrie had a 3-hit game, including a 3-run homer. Escobar, it's short in time. Callaspo has grounded out 3 times. Blue Jays are happy to get him out anytime they can. He absolutely wears out the Jays.
Henderson Alvarez, the biggest difference that we have seen from him, he's got that sinking feeling again. That sinker is starting to move down. Lots of ground ball outs. Keeping it in the infield. There's 3 strikeouts, but that's not what he does. He keeps the defense engaged. He jumps ahead early in the count, and that's been what we've seen from him this year.
20 first pitch strikes from Alvarez to 25 Angel hitters today. They have been behind in the count all afternoon. And when you're behind, that's what happens. You have to chase borderline pitches.
Baseball's a funny game, isn't it? The Los Angeles Angels. This is his second start against them this year. He shut them out back in May in Anaheim. They come in here averaging 7 runs a game, and he's doing the same thing. Giving up just one run to him.
Came back in the 3rd inning. Meiser Asturias with an RBI double to the gap in right center. The only Angel run. Vizquel tested quickly, not in time. Peter Borges, an infield hit. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Yankees have jumped on the White Sox and Jake Peavy. All the while, Hiroki Kuroda is throwing a 3-hitter through 7 innings and has struck out 11. Bobby Cannell has 11 home runs this month of June. His 19th of the season. Granderson, his 23rd home run. That came in the 1st inning off Jake Peavy. Over the glove of Kelly Johnson into right. Romine has his 2nd hit of the afternoon. Back-to-back 1-out hits for the Angels. Left-hander Luis Perez has started to throw in the Blue Jays bullpen.
If he can get through this inning, the 7th inning right here, making it a lot easier for John Farrell to get 2 innings out of that bullpen. You got to think about tomorrow, and you got to think about the Kansas City Royals coming to town. Here are the 2 starts that Henderson Alvarez has had against the Angels this year. Great numbers.
Now, and he needed one like this psychologically. He won his last start against Boston, but left that game in the 6th inning. But he dominated a very good hitting ball club and a hot club right now in the Angels here this afternoon. I know one thing, John Farrell does not want to pitch Jansen, Cordero, Frazier, or Oliver today. They all need a blow.
Jason has pitched 4 of the last 5 days.
Bobby Wilson. Vizquel steps on 3rd across the diamond in time to complete the double play. Omar Vizquel took his time, stepped on the bag, and converted the double play. handshake from the pitching coach, Bruce Wolf. Alvarez will make it 2 wins in a row. And Blue Jays needed 7 innings from the starter. It's been a while since they've had a game like that, and it's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Makes it a lot easier for the manager just to get a couple of innings out of his bullpen. Laffey got 6 innings in Boston. Chavez got 6 innings in Miami.
John Farrell probably trying to make some points to Alvarez about the way he pitched today, and once he got the ball down in the zone, it was a different story.
Yeah, ball was up early in the game. Got hurt a couple of times with base hits, but once he got the ball down, everything was fine. The last time a Blue Jays starter went 7 innings was June 22nd. Ricky Romero 7 against the Miami Marlins in that 12-5 win by the Blue Jays.
Adam Lind has lined out, flied out, and he's also walked. He walked and scored in the 5th. Gets his ball off the end of the bat. His Torres had it. And retired. Ricky Romero had a very good side session yesterday with Bruce Walton. They worked on some mechanical aspects, got him to stand a little more upright, moved him to the third base side of the rubber to give him a better angle at that strike zone. So Walton is very optimistic Romero is going to have a good start his next time out.
I was watching him again. He was out in the bullpen again this morning, working with Pete Walker and working with Bruce Walton on his mechanics and things like that. And he was throwing not full speed, but looked very smooth. Looked like his arm was coming through a lot easier in his side session, and we'll see him in a couple of days.
Romero will open up the Kansas City Royals series on Monday night. He'll be opposed by left-hander Everett Teaford.
And I'm with you, Buck. The way, from what I saw today of Ricky Romero, I think he's going to have a good outing on Monday.
It's very difficult for a pitcher to have good year after good year after good year. Romero's had 3 good years in a row where everything is improved for him. This has been a little bit of a step backward, but he's still 8-2. And I'll take 8-2 anytime. And Romero has really beaten himself up because his numbers aren't good. The ERA, hits to innings pitched, walks and strikeouts, all those numbers have dropped off from what he's used to.
He wants it so bad and he works so hard. At times he's his own worst enemy. But I'll tell you what we have seen the last couple of days in his side sessions, looks like he's working it out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Boy, that's not a pretty picture. CN Tower, downtown Toronto, on a gorgeous afternoon. Omar Vizquel pops it up, his first at bat since coming into the game, and Ayaspo makes the catch. Quick inning here in the bottom of the 7th, but it's been all Blue Jays. The bats are red hot, 11-1 over the Angels.
Hustles all the way to third base. He forces Trout to overthrow his target at third base. Bautista scores, part of a 7-run inning for the Blue Jays. Jose Bautista, the smart play this afternoon.
Tom Butterfield is always appreciative of the way his players run the bases, and it was a pivotal part of that big 7-run inning. They really ran the bases aggressively and set up Henderson Alvarez for the win. Alvarez goes 7 innings, gives up 7 hits, just 1 earned run, didn't walk a bat, and he did a great job of keeping the Angels in check. The Angels came into this ball game really hot with the bats, and he shut them down very effectively.
12 ground ball outs, just 79 pitches, and we will give way now to Luis Perez, the left-hander out of the bullpen. There are his numbers. Just a 335 3-run average for Perez, 2-2 in 31 games. Last time we saw Luis, he picked up that second loss of the season in Boston. Gave up a hit and a run on the 26th, 4 days ago. But overall, good stuff. He gets a lot of ground ball outs, and with his slider and his changeup, he gets a lot of strikeouts also.
So Luis Perez on to work the top of the 8th inning. Kelly Johnson and the Blue Jays have really had a good day with the bats. Interesting, too. Another great day with the bats when the team didn't take BP. The team came out with no batting practice, and they did a great job of swinging the bats early, and they had Garrett Richards on the ropes in the second. Top of the order for the Angels here in the 8th. Mike Trout's 11-game hit streak is on the line. He's 0 for 3 so far. Trout was charged with an error, one of 2 errors the Angels committed in the Blue Jays' second inning. That Bautista base running, going first to third, forced Trout to rush the throw, and he threw it into the Blue Jays dugout.
A couple of errors that inning by the usually sure-handed players for the Los Angeles Angels. Peter Borges had a ball in center field drop for his first error of the season. Trout picked up his 3rd on that overthrow at third base. It led to 5 unearned runs charged against Garrett Richards.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Missed that breaking ball. Blue Jays need a couple of starts like they had today from their rotation just to get the bullpen sorted out again. Give them a chance to catch their breaths, recharge their batteries. For Perez, this is his 10th appearance in the month of June. He worked a total of 12 innings. He's given up 16 hits in those 12 innings. And the opponents have hit .327 against him. He needs to regroup a little bit. Francisco Cordero has pitched very well in the month of June, including a good 2/3 outing in the game last night. Gave up a hit, but got out of the 7th with a double play. This is popped up. Aaron Sebia over near the Blue Jays dugout, gets there, makes a catch, and catapults over. Saved by Brett Cecil. Brett Laurie was right there, too, to make sure Aaron Sebia didn't fall into the dugout. And as a catcher, you feel pretty comfortable going into your own dugout trying to catch a foul pop.
They certainly will help you, but Aaron Sebia doesn't give up on this play. He goes right after it. He knows he's getting closer to that dugout. Starts to tumble in, but there's Brett Cecil to catch him right there.
Brian Butterfield had a firm grip on him to make sure that he didn't fall into the dugout. Meiser Stewart has had a good day. He's gotten a couple of hits, and this time he flies into right field. Rajay Davis makes the grab. Davis moved over to right field when Jose Bautista came out of the ballgame. Bautista was lifted for the pinch hitter, Ben Francisco, in the 5th inning. And Francisco went in defensively and left and pushed Davis over to right.
Part of the job of a manager is to line up his bullpen and to get the matchups that you want and to get just the amount of rest that you need from your bullpen guys. I think Luis Perez, with the right amount of rest, is very, very effective. Early in the season, he was being pitched a lot, and he kind of ran into a wall. And then once he gets that rest, that slider's back, and the top to his good sinking fastball is back.
Casey Jansen and Darren Oliver have thrown the ball very well, and they've worked a lot. That bullpen has been abused, and right now they have 8 arms in that pen because they've had to work so frequently. You mentioned Cordero has turned things around this month.
Very busy this month. The whole bullpen has been very busy this month. His last work 3 days ago. And his slider was back. He had 3 strikeouts in those 2 innings of work he had a couple of days ago in Boston. But when he gets the proper type of rest that he needs, he comes right after you. Took him just 16 pitches to throw 2 innings and get 3 strikeouts.
Two and two to Albert Pujols. Angels batting in the top of the 8th. Off the end of the bat. That ball is headed toward the gap. Rasmus. Oh, what a catch! Colby Rasmus, for a 2nd consecutive game, takes extra bases away from an Angel hitter. He just kept going and going and going. Never gave up. Stretches full out. Takes extra bases away from Albert Pujols. What a job. A very determined effort, and this is a difficult play in a lopsided game.
Yeah, you might want to just take it easy, but Colby Rasmus doesn't take it easy. He goes full out I am nominating that catch right there as the best catch of the season so far by the Blue Jays. I haven't seen one finer yet because of where he went, where he came from, how hard the ball was hit, and how he laid out to take extra bases away from Albert Pujols.
In a no-hitter or a perfect game, something like that, we've seen a lot of efforts like that from outfielders where everybody knows what's at stake. But in an 11-1 game, give it to Colby Rasmus for never giving up on that ball. And he saves his pitcher an extra base hit and gets the inning over. And how about this? He's leading off.
Now hit a home run.
Well, I tell you what, he has really added another dimension to this ball club. The stability defensively he has given them in center field is one thing, but now he's a presence in the lineup as well.
You know, and give him the credit. He has worked very hard with Dwayne Murphy about putting his swing together, making some changes, having faith in those changes, and then to go out there and do it.
And Dwayne Murphy was confident that it was in there. He just never gave up. When we talk about Rasmus, and last night in the ball game, he made a terrific catch up against the wall in right field. Watch the effort here.
He knew he was getting close to that wall, but he didn't want to take his eye off the ball. Knew that he was going to take a pounding when he hit the wall. I want to put together a top 10 for Colby Rasmus catches this year. He made a couple in that first series of the season in Cleveland, if you remember that, into the gaps.
That catch he made last night was a sac fly off the bat of Eric Ibar that could have really been trouble had it fallen for a hit. But I'm with you. I think he has made a lot of good running catches, diving catches, and a lot of people will interpret his graceful glide as being nonchalant, but that's not the case at all. Full count. High and deep to center field. Peter Borges back on the track at the wall and makes the catch. So Peter Borges says, you take one away from us, I'm going to take one away from you. Nice catch by Borges.
Couple of good center fielders flashing the leather here this afternoon. Borges goes back. He finds the wall and then times his leap perfectly. The ball hung up there just a little bit too long. Rasmus would have been on second base.
Ben Francisco in his second at bat. Francisco hit for Jose Bautista back in the fifth inning. Ground ball to third, backhanded by Callaspo. He bounces it into dirt. Good job by Morales. We're going to show you one more look at that great catch by Colby Rasmus, and it's worthy.
Saw a play like this in that perfect game by Matt Cain by an outfielder from San Francisco Giants. Never Blanco this time. Colby Rasmus all the way to the warning track. I mean, that's how far he had to go on a dead sprint. Keep your eye on the ball, dive, and make the catch.
2 outs, and then Encarnacion takes a strike. Colby Rasmus is developing a big fan base, and he deserves to have a big fan club.
Someone had a man crush on him. We saw a sign in yesterday's ball game.
Well, he treated you to a nice birthday present, making that great catch in center field. You know, and we talk about athletes all the time, and there's a Cardinal uniform. That's where Rasmus came from, the Cardinals. But Colby Rasmus is an athlete. He can beat you with his glove, with his legs, with his back. He can do a lot of things.
He can make changes if he has to. That's what good athletes can do. That if something's not working one way, they're able to do something a different way. He can get on top of the plate, stand up a little bit taller, pull the ball. Tough to ask guys to do something that they're not capable physically of doing.
And the game today dictates that you have athletic players. Power has been de-emphasized. Defense has been emphasized. Pitching and defense is the formula everybody's trying to put together. The show pulls it foul.
Look at the last couple of years, the Blue Jays draft of young, everyday players. They could all run, they could all hit, they can do different things.
Michael Krause, Jake Marisnick, and Marcus Connect, the outfielders that are in Dunedin, they're all very athletic. They do a lot of things to help your ball club. And Encarnacion takes a very close pitch, and he'll get the 2-out walk. Kelly Johnson is at some day at the plate. And he's had a double, a triple. He's walked twice. He's driven in a run and scored a run. Two.
This is where you have a chance to have a great day. Keep grinding right here. You don't give up. From a good day to a great day, if you can scratch one out.
Now that's the one thing that, you know, the great hitters always did. They had 3 hits, they got 4. They got 4 hits, they got their 5th. When you're having a good day, you really got to maintain your focus. And I know Kelly Johnson is really grinding in this at bat. It's been a struggle for him lately.
Days like today, when you feel comfortable, you got a couple of hits your first time up. That's when you make up for those days where you walk into that batter's box and you don't feel good.
Johnson strikes out. That ends the 8th inning. We'll go to the top of the 9th. It's all Blue Jays. They lead 11-1 over the Angels. pitcher for the Blue Jays here in the top of the ninth will be David Pauley, the right-hander, former Angel. It's a chance to work against his old ball club.
David Pauley, sinker slider type of pitcher, 0-1, 568 earned run average. For Pauley, those are his combined numbers in 8 games this year with the Angels and the Blue Jays. Combined hitting .382 against him. Had a rough outing his last time out at Boston 4 days ago. He gave up 3 earned runs in just a third of an inning. So John Farrell's got a chance to get him out there to finish this one off and maybe walk off the field with his teammates and a W.
In that outing on Tuesday, Pauley came in to face Daniel Nava, pinch hitter, and hit Nava, and that kept the inning alive. The Red Sox would go on to score 3 runs in that inning. At that time, going into the bottom of the 7th, Blue Jays had a 1-0 lead. Aaron Laffey did a great job. 6 innings of 3 hit shutout ball against Boston. But the bullpen couldn't stop the Red Sox late. Kendrys Morales is in a hole 0-2. Morales has gone 1 for 3 this afternoon. Oh, look at that. Now there is a happy young fan on Junior Jay's Saturday. What a picture that is. I got a baseball. And she's got a nice little Jays jersey on and a baseball souvenir. Over the glove of Kelly Johnson into right. Rajay Davis cuts it off. Blue Jays not only have been swinging hot bats, they've been playing good defense. Kobe Rasmussen last night takes a hit away from Eric Ibar. Escobar threw out Mark Trumbo. JP Arancibia goes into the dugout, makes the catch, shows the umpire the ball, and then Kobe Rasmussen robs Albert Pujols with a sliding catch. That ended the top half of the 8th inning.
We have seen plays like that by the Blue Jays all season long. Circus catches, great plays on the infield. That is John Hester, who is now in the ballgame. He comes in as a pinch runner.
Mark Trumbo has gone 0 for 3 so far. Trumbo has 3 hits in the series, had a 2-run home run and an RBI triple on Thursday night. Went 1 for 4 last night. And he gets a base hit here. Hits it sharply on the line to left field. The first 2 reach against David Pauley.
Just looking for an out here. Again, a sinker slider type of pitcher. He can make that one pitch and get a double play.
Alberto Callaspo has taken the collar so far, 3 ground ball points. Callaspo coming into this game at his highest average against any ball club against the Blue Jays. Hitting .340. But to start a play, .342 against Toronto. So he always lights up when he sees the Blue Jays uniform, but today's been a different story. Ball and a strike to the Angel third baseman. Top of the 9th inning, Blue Jays scored 7 runs in the second and blew it wide open. That gave them an 8-0 lead. Angels scored their run in the top of the 3rd. Blue Jays added 3 more in the 5th. The Blue Jays with a 7-run inning for a 2nd time this season. The 7 runs allowed by the Angels were the most they have allowed in 1 inning this year. Two and 2. Runners at first and second. John Hester Pinch running for Kendrys Morales is at second. Jumbo single, he's at first. Line to right. Davis jumps for it, makes the catch. Espo's retired. That's the first out of the inning. Rogers customers have more ways to catch Sportsnet live coverage of the Blue Jays. Watch the action live all season from your smartphone. Download the Live Rogers app from your app store. Hester tagged and advanced from second to third on the out. Peter Borges has gone 1 for 3. Had an infield hit in the 7th inning. Hit it to third base, and Omar Vizquel wide to his left. Just couldn't get enough on the throw to throw out Borges.
He's got great speed, Borges. He and Trout together in the outfield for the Angels. As much speed and ability to go get the ball. Reminds me of the days when the Angels had Gary Pettis and Devon White in the outfield. You only needed 2 outfielders, I think. That's how much ground that they would cover. When Trout and Borges are out there, then you throw to Torrey Hunter, the Gold Glover. Tough to get a ball down.
Boy, Devon White and Gary Pettis could cover a lot of ground. And thankfully, the Angels decided they didn't want to keep Devon White. And he came to the Blue Jays. A flare behind second base. Escobar is out and makes the catch. More baseball coming up as the Philadelphia Phillies will be in Miami. Good pitching matchup. Cole Hamels at 10-3 will go up against the left-hander Mark Burley as the Phillies take on the Marlins. Coming up next on Sportsnet.
That should be a quick game. Hamels and Burley, they will both work very quick. They throw a lot of strikes. And how about Cliff Lee as we head to July tomorrow? Still witness.
How about that? Joe Blanton has more wins than Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay combined. But the Phillies got Chase Utley back, and Ryan Howard made a rehab start last night. Just might be a little too late for the Phillies. Philadelphia 36-43, 10 games back in the National League East. They're in last place.
Got to get healthy in a hurry. Halladay, Ryan Howard, to give them a chance.
Chase Utley came back in his first at bat off the disabled list to hit a home run. Andrew Romine has his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Trumbo goes first to third. Hester comes in. It's a 11-2 ball game. Romine with a 3-hit game. There's a strike to the catcher, Bobby Wilson. 11-2 Blue Jays. Top of the 9th inning. Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row over the Angels. Los Angeles won the first game 9-7 on Thursday night. Blue Jays bounced back, won 7-5 last night. Junior J Saturday, and the kids will be running the bases after this ball game. The Blue Jays have been running the bases all afternoon.
These kids look like they're in the starter's block, ready to get out on that field. They're just like the big leaguers.
Up over near the wall, and Carnicio will run out of room. Crowds getting to their feet, encouraging David Polley to end it. 2-2, 2 outs. Over 29,000 on hand here at Rogers Center. Breaking ball. It's a full count. Mike Trout is on deck. He's in jeopardy of having his 11-game hit streak come to an end. He's gone 0 for 4 so far. On the ground, Vizquel knocks it down. He has time across the diamond, and the game is over. Vizquel knocked it down, took his time, and threw out Bobby Wilson to end it. The Blue Jays win 11-2.
Well, they got contributions from a lot of people offensively. You know, Escobar with a home run, but the big 7-run second inning really set it up, I thought, for Henderson Alvarez and the rest of the team. Alvarez was able to use his fastball just a little bit more. He was able to go deeper into the ball game. 7 innings. Give the bullpen a little bit of a rest, but the offense does it again. Get him off to a good start today.
The Jays have won 2 in a row against the Angels. They'll look to win the series tomorrow afternoon on Canada Day. We'll be right here. It all starts just after 3. Stay tuned. Blue Jays Central Update coming right now.